There are two types of Range Rover owners in this world. Those who swear it's the best SUV ever made, and those who swear they'd rather walk barefoot through a desert before owning one again. Funny thing, they're usually talking about the same car. Because the Range Rover is the only SUV on Earth that can break down on a Monday, leave you stranded on Tuesday, drain your wallet on Wednesday, and still make you say, yeah, but damn, look at it. Today, we're going deep. Why Range Rover keeps getting away with being one of the most unreliable luxury SUVs ever made, yet somehow continues to dominate the streets of London, Dubai, New York, Johannesburg, Nairobi, Sydney, everywhere. We're looking at real warranty data, real owner experiences, mechanics' insights, and the psychology behind one of the most fascinating contradictions in the car world. And hey, before we dive in, if you've ever owned, dreamed of owning, broken down in, or been towed inside a Range Rover, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and drop a comment below telling me, what is the most expensive repair you've ever had? Trust me, those comments turn into therapy sessions. All right, let's talk about the luxury SUV that's loved, hated, worshipped, and feared, all at the same time. Let's begin with Chapter 1. Are Range Rovers actually unreliable? Let's start with the cold, hard truth. Not opinions, not memes. Data. Across multiple reliability studies, Range Rover consistently ranks at the bottom. Not the bottom of its class, the bottom of the entire industry. Extended warranty providers, those guys who deal with real-world repair costs every day, did a 130,000 vehicle study and crowned the Range Rover the most unreliable used car in the UK. And here's the kicker. Not just unreliable, expensive to fix. Like sell a kidney on Facebook Marketplace expensive. We're talking air suspension failures, electrical gremlins, door modules that randomly die, infotainment systems freezing, oil leaks, coolant leaks, terrain response failures, and enough warning lights to look like a Christmas tree running Windows 95. But even with this reputation, Range Rover sales keep climbing. Why? Why do buyers look at all these red flags and still say, yes, this is the car I want to spend 6 figures on? Because the answer isn't purely logical, it's emotional. Don't worry. We're going to break it down in a way that finally makes sense. But before we get into psychology, let's break down what owners are actually saying. Chapter 2. Owner Reviews, the love-hate relationship. Spend 10 minutes reading Range Rover owner reviews and you'll notice something strange. Nearly every review sounds like this. Best car I've ever driven, but also the most stressful. Or, it broke down twice in the first year, but I'll still buy another one. Or my favorite, I love this car with all my heart, but I don't trust it at all. Owners know the risk. They expect the breakdowns. They accept the repair bills. Why? Because when a Range Rover is working, it feels like you're driving in a 5-star hotel suite floating on a cloud. The riding comfort? Unmatched. The cabin? Like stepping into money. The presence? Like walking into a room in a custom-made Italian suit. You're not just driving an SUV, you're driving a statement. And that's why owners put up with the headaches. It's like dating someone way out of your league who causes drama. But you stay because the highs are so high. Remember, but emotionally irrational decisions are still decisions. Now let's dive into Chapter 3, Mechanics Perspective. If you want the real truth about Range Rover reliability, don't ask YouTube. Ask mechanics. Talk to any independent Land Rover specialist and they'll tell you the same thing. Range Rover owners pay my rent. They love these cars because they break constantly. Common expensive failures include, number 1, air suspension. The signature Magic carpet ride comes at a price. Air struts, compressors, height sensors, they all fail. Number 2, electrical systems. Range Rovers are like British smartphones on wheels. Packed with tech, packed with issues. Number 3, turbocharger and cooling system failures. Heat plus complexity usually equals to party time at the repair shop. Number 4, infotainment units. They freeze, lag, crash, or forget how Bluetooth works. Number 5, drivetrain or transmission quirks, especially on older or poorly maintained models. Mechanics always say the same thing. If you want to own a Range Rover, keep emergency savings. And yet, people still buy them. Let's talk about why. Chapter 4. How Range Rover keeps getting away with it. Here's the part where things get juicy. This is the psychology, the strategy, the brand power. The reason why Range Rover doesn't just survive, it thrives. Reason number 1. Status symbol first, car second. A Range Rover is not bought for reliability. It's bought for image. Celebrities drive them. Royal families ride in them. Business leaders show up in them. Athletes, influencers, luxury shoppers, they all want that presence. Range Rover is the luxury SUV flex, the I've made it car, the I'm successful badge. Lexus can be more reliable. BMW can be faster. Volvo can be safer. But none of them make you feel like you're floating through the world wearing a cashmere robe. That's what Range Rover is selling, status, not reliability. Reason number 2, the warranty bubble protects first owners. Here's something most car buyers don't realize. Almost all new Range Rovers are leased, financed, or bought by companies. Meaning most first owners drive them for 3 years under full warranty, then ditch them before the chaos begins. So the original buyer never sees the horror. The second owner and third owner do. This is the biggest secret of Range Rover. It's fantastic for the first owner. It's hell for the second and third. Brutal? Yes, but it works. Reason number 3. The driving experience is truly special. Even the haters agree on one thing. There is nothing like driving a Range Rover. Nothing. Not a GLS. Not an X7. Not a Q7. Not even a G-Class, which is more of a rolling brick made of testosterone and bad decisions. Range Rovers have a unique suspension setup, a peerless sense of isolation, interiors that feel like a luxury spa, quietness that makes you forget the world, effortless torque delivery, an elegant, regal driving position. You sit in one and think, okay, I get why people risk it. Reason number 4, brand heritage and marketing power. Since the 1970s, Range Rover has been marketed as royalty on wheels. You can't erase 50 years of prestige overnight. Other brands sell cars. Range Rover sells identity. Reason number 5, good enough. Improvements. Keep hope alive. Newer Range Rovers have improved slightly. Not Toyota-level reliability, not Lexus-level reliability, but enough that many buyers say, maybe this generation is the one that won't break. Spoiler, some do, some don't. It's still a gamble, but humans love optimism, and Range Rover knows this. The competitors that are better and cheaper, yet still outsold. Here's where the story gets fascinating. There are SUVs that are more reliable, cheaper, better built, cheaper to maintain, more durable, more practical, better long-term value. And yet, they don't outsell Range Rover. So let's talk about the SUVs that, on paper, should absolutely destroy the Range Rover in global sales. These are the ones mechanics recommend, the ones reliability experts rave about, the ones owners keep for 10, 15, even 20 years. And yet, Range Rover still outsells many of them in luxury markets. Option 1. Toyota Land Cruiser, the apocalypse-proof choice. The Toyota Land Cruiser is the literal opposite of a Range Rover. A Range Rover says, I'm refined, elegant, and luxurious. A Land Cruiser says, I will survive nuclear war, climb a mountain, wade through a flood, and protect you in a coup. This thing is bulletproof reliable, easy to repair anywhere on Earth, loved by NGOs, militaries, safari operators, rural doctors, and governments. Known for 300,000 plus kilometers lifespans without drama. A Land Cruiser is so reliable that its biggest problem is being too reliable. People buy one and keep it for 15 years, which kills repeat sales. Toyota doesn't mind, but it means the Land Cruiser can't compete with the flash or status of a Range Rover. It wins every logical category, but loses the emotional ones, and emotional wins every time. Option 2. Lexus LX and GX, the smart people, luxury SUV. Lexus is like the honor roll student who never gets in trouble. Range Rover is the charming troublemaker who's always suspended, but somehow still popular. Lexus SUVs offer ultra-high reliability, long lifespan, cheap running costs relative to their class, quiet, comfortable interiors, conservative but timeless design, extremely strong resale value. But here's the truth. They don't have the presence of a Range Rover. They don't have the road dominance. They don't have the royal associations. They don't have the British luxury image. In cities like London, Dubai, or Los Angeles, a Lexus doesn't turn heads. A Range Rover does. And people buying $120,000 SUVs want heads to turn. Option 3, Mercedes GLS/BMW X7/Audi Q7, the rational luxury choices. German luxury SUVs are smooth, safe, technology-packed, easier to service, generally more dependable, widely available, popular among families. But here's the key difference. They don't have the Range Rover's identity, they're premium cars, but they're not cultural symbols. Nobody dreams of a BMW X7. Nobody hangs posters of a GLS. Nobody screenshots a Q7 as their phone wallpaper. Meanwhile, a Range Rover is aspirational. It's the poster car of the luxury SUV world. You buy a German SUV with your brain, you buy a Range Rover with your ego. Option 4, Volvo XC90, the sensible Scandinavian. The Volvo XC90 is one of the safest, most comfortable, most intelligently designed SUVs on the market. It's reasonably reliable, it's practical, it's stylish, but it's also the automotive equivalent of a really well-designed IKEA sofa. You respect it, you appreciate it, but you don't brag about it. And people buying Range Rovers want to brag, even if they don't admit it. Volvo sells safety and calm, not swagger and prestige. Chapter 6. Why can't anyone kill the Range Rover? At this point, you might be thinking, if these SUVs are better, cheaper, and more reliable, why don't they dominate? The answer is simple. Range Rover sells fantasy better than any other brand. Let's break down the unbeatable formula. 1. Range Rover sells. Peak luxury. When you step into a Range Rover, it isn't trying to be sporty, rugged, or futuristic. It's trying to be calm, dignified, effortless, royal. Mercedes sells German engineering. BMW sells performance. Lexus sells reliability. Land Cruiser sells durability. Range Rover sells luxury as a lifestyle. It's built to make you feel important, and people love feeling important. 2. The royal and celebrity effect. Let's be honest, this matters. Range Rover has one of the strongest luxury associations in automotive history. It has royal family endorsement, celebrity obsession, A-list ownership, politician preference, high fashion connections. When a brand has that kind of social gravity, reliability becomes secondary. People don't say, "I bought a reliable car." They say, "I bought a Range Rover." It's not a vehicle, it's a status elevator. 3. Leasing culture hides the problems. This is the biggest reason Range Rover still wins. Most wealthy buyers lease it for 36 months, stay under warranty, swap it for the new model, never see the nightmare repairs, never worry about depreciation, never think about long-term ownership. So the reliability issue, only the second, third, and fourth owners feel the pain. Meanwhile, the first owner just enjoys the experience and becomes a repeat customer. Range Rover doesn't need to be reliable, it only needs to survive 3 years. And guess what? It usually does. 4. Emotional cars. Beat logical cars. The most reliable cars in the world, Toyota, Lexus, Honda, are logical purchases. Range Rover is an emotional one, and emotion wins. People don't buy Range Rovers because they're rational. They buy them because they make them feel like royalty, even if it's only for a few minutes each morning during the school run. Many buyers actually know the horror stories and still say, "I'll take my chances." That's power. Chapter 7. The Range Rover Trap. Here's the craziest part of the entire story. Even former owners who got burned often go right back. Why? Because no other SUV replicates the experience. A past owner once said, "Leaving a Range Rover for a reliable SUV is like leaving a toxic relationship for a healthy one. but missing the chaos. Another owner said, "Driving a Range Rover feels like someone massaging your ego while the suspension massages your spine." Another, "I left for a Lexus. I came back for the feeling." This is the secret. People aren't addicted to Range Rovers. They're addicted to how Range Rovers make them feel. And until another brand replicates that emotional formula, Range Rover will continue to dominate, whether it deserves to or not. Chapter 8. Should you buy one? This is where I keep it 100% real with you. If you lease your vehicles, don't keep cars past warranty, can afford premium maintenance, value luxury over reliability, want the best riding SUV on the road, don't mind the risk, then yes, a Range Rover might be worth it. But if you need long-term reliability, don't want surprise repair bills, keep cars for 8 to 10 plus years, want dependable luxury, live far from a Land Rover dealer, then it's simple. Buy something else. A Lexus LX will outlive you. A Land Cruiser will survive apocalypse. A Mercedes or BMW will give you luxury without the headaches. A Volvo XC90 will give you calm Scandinavian joy. A Range Rover will give you pleasure and pain and pleasure again. And then a warning light at 2 a.m. Choose your poison wisely. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world's most loved and hated luxury SUV, hit that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. Drop a comment below and tell us if you ever own a Range Rover. Why or why not? I want to hear your horror stories, your love stories, and your never again stories. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to Drive Sense Garage, the place where we cut through the marketing BS and talk about cars the way real drivers do. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay smart, and may your dashboard stay free of warning lights.